Hello, I'm Pamela Woods, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and an inaugural member of the Excellence Leadership Academy of the Pi Alpha Omega chapter. Welcome to my PAOex talk, Managing Disruption as a Pathway to Progress, a case for minimalism. Let's get into it. So yes, I already know that you know the definition to manage, but I wanted to make sure that we put some key terms at the forefront of your mind. So remember, manage is to work upon or try to alter for a purpose. When we think about disruption, remember, it's a break. It's an interruption. And the normal course, we all know normal isn't happening right now during this pandemic. So I'd like to tell you about our disruption, my husband's story. Early June, he had some pressure in his chest when he was exercising with me. So at that time, he said, I can't really do this, Pam. I need to see a doctor. So he went in on 6/23, had a stress test. It came back abnormal. That led to a heart catheterization. So the very next morning, we had to be at the hospital at 6 a.m. And the catheterization was something that we were told, he might have to have a stent, or worst case scenario, he might have to stay overnight. Or it might come back and show that it really was a false positive. Turns out he had 90% blockage in 3 arteries, and he had to be admitted for surgery as soon as possible. That was our life disrupted. So as a result of all of this, on 6/26, he had open heart surgery. And on 8/17, he returns to work doing exceptionally well. That was our disruption, as I said before. I wanted to make sure that I really put this out there because I've told you all of this stuff that happened to him, but he returned to work and he's doing exceptionally well. No problems whatsoever. So how do we manage back to health after that disruption? What really helped us to get back to a healthy life after heart surgery? I'm sure you're asking that, right? What was our path to progress? The answer includes many things. Of course, our faith, our family, but let's discuss just one thing right now, and that's minimalism. Now, minimalism, this is important. This is so important. I want to make sure that you look at it word for word, because I'm learning that so many people think they know what minimalism is and they think it's this stark thing, but it's a friendly thing. I promise you. It's the intentional promotion of the things we most value and the removal of absolutely everything else that distracts us from it. So I want to talk to you about 2 key principles. There's many principles around minimalism, but of course we don't have all the time in the world, so I can only go over just 2. And those 2 that I've chosen is about decluttering and identifying the essential. Principle number 1, declutter. This is where you've got to make that conscious decision to remove anything that's unimportant. I mean, it could be anything like clothing that doesn't fit. Why would you keep them? It could be your books from college. I know many of you still have those books from college. Why are you keeping them? You probably are getting some gifts for your birthday or Christmas. You don't even like them. Why are you keeping them? A busy life. See, because sometimes we think about things being clutter, but if your schedule is overbooked, that's clutter as well. Why are we keeping all those appointments? So when we talk about decluttering, it's not just your possessions. It's your mind. It's your finances. It's your life. Only keep what's important. So what did we do? How does our life look when I talk about decluttering? Well, our process began in January of this year. We stopped buying so many clothes. Trust me when I tell you, it's a little bit of a shopaholic, a little bit into the retail therapy. But we made a decision to not keep buying all those things. that we didn't need. I didn't need. And the other thing that helps us in the process to donate clothing every month, items not being used or, at the end of the day, things that we don't need. But I can assure you, I want to make sure I put this disclaimer out there. We are still working on this. This is a journey for me. I am not there yet. So because I have been decluttering, I have a more orderly and clean home, more time to focus on my husband and really relationships in general, not just him, and more time for exercise. So when you look at decluttering, I really don't have the same level of stress of a messy home to worry about during our disruption. I had more free time because we had already begun to declutter. Now let's look at principle number 2, identify the essential. This is where I want you to think about intentionally designing your life. How do you do that? You have to define what's really important to you and your priorities. Is it health? Is it time for God, family? Is it time for friends, volunteering? Is it travel? Whatever it is that's important to you, it's up to you to define that. So let's take a look at what we identify as the essential. Our health. The saying goes, your health is your wealth. I truly believe that. Having time to do the things that I want to do, that's a priority. And of course, even though I can't do it right now due to COVID-19, we love to travel. Here are our results of identifying the essential. Before decluttering, before minimalism, before identifying things, we struggled to exercise 3 times a week. Now, we're up to 5 to 7 times per week. Honestly, right now, we're exercising every single day and we're continuing to challenge ourselves. We may not always exercise every single day, but right now the challenge is on and we have the time and we're doing what we need to do to exercise. Before, there were many time for distractions, things that were unimportant. Now we're attempting to reclaim time and live on purpose. Minimalism has allowed us to have a clearer, more focused path to progress. Absolutely. So I will tell you that whatever you thought about minimalism before, I really want you to stop. I really want you to consider, this minimalism thing, maybe there is something to that. I've heard about it, but I've never tried it. Trust me when I tell you, minimalism is for everybody. Minimalism is for you because you define what it means to you. It's not about anybody else's decision. It's not about anybody else's definition. You define what minimalism means to you. Minimalism can help with your path to progress. I invite you to try it. So to help you or to give you some resources, I wanted to share with you Joshua Becker. He's an author, a podcaster, a YouTuber. Ron Banks is also on YouTube. The Broken Wallet is on YouTube. A Small Wardrobe is on YouTube. These are things that there's books, there's documentaries on Netflix. There's all kinds of resources to help you learn more about minimalism. And that concludes my presentation.